Did you say you were in Montana? Did you say you were in Montana?
I am actually.
Great. Should I know where in Montana?
Oh, in Helena. My
Oh,
family,
you know, I'm
my
sorry.
wife's
You told me
family
that.
lives
Yeah,
there.
no, I have a really amazing metamor in Montana.
Oh,
So every so
nice.
often I hear about what it's and she grew up there. So every so often I hear about what it's like to grow up in her part of Montana. So
Oh,
yeah.
nice. Yeah, my wife's from here, and so yeah, just her.
Yeah.
And now
Yeah.
we're sort of here by ourselves. Her sister just moved away, so now it's just us three and my our nephew. So it's
Yeah, yeah. Do you have a comic shop you like, or do you have to go to like Bozeman or something for that?
oh no, we gotta go Great Falls. But Golden Girls here has it's an antique shop, but they have like a back issue bins, and so I do that every so often.
Yeah, no, I feel like having my only local source of comics be well-stocked back issue bins would
Hmm.
have been intolerable
Yeah,
2 years ago.
right.
And it's still intolerable in terms of indie comics,
Oh
but
yeah, it's not
uh,
great for.
until just because so many of the great indie comics are like right now. But
Mhm.
unless they put Eve Ewing in charge of everything,
Yeah,
which I don't think she wants,
no.
um, I'm okay with this year being a good time to look for back issues.
Yeah, and I use DCBS to stay monthly, but who can afford the weekly shipping prices? But I was like, yeah, once a month I have friend who gives me codes to the weekly comics so I can at least stay current, so that's nice.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So I think we just backed into a discussion of
We
where the
did.
X line is right now, which is not my favorite place to start, as much as I love everything that Eve Ewing is trying to do.
Yes.
I am going to ask you what you would like to talk about today.
Oh, sure. Well, let me give you a proper introduction. Welcome
Sure.
everyone to episode 244 of Shadow and Flame of Magic. And today my guest is Dr. Stephanie Burt, a professor of English at Harvard, a literary critic, a poet, author of various books, including my favorite for all mutants,
Oh,
fellow X-Men United Defender, writer at Comics FX, and someone I could listen to talk about Kitty Pride for hours. And maybe by the end of
aw.
the episode, we can I can finally find out where you rank Taylor Swift's Ivy on her list.
Oh, I mean, I'll give you that now.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Sure, it's fine. Um,
yeah.
I don't rank individual songs,
Oh, sure.
although Rob Sheffield, who has written beautifully about her, does maintain a running list of all of Taylor's songs ranked on the Rolling Stone website. You can read it
Oh,
for
yeah,
free.
that's
You
right.
can
I've
go
seen that.
Yeah, I will, if pressed, give you a ranking of all of the albums.
Oh,
But
sure.
all the albums have great songs, top tier songs on them, including the most recent one and the first one, which are her weakest,
Oh,
as I think she knows.
yeah, I'm sure. I know my wife was, I know she just did that song for Toy Story 5 and she was
Oh,
like, you know
that's
what? I
good.
think I might be done with, right, not done, but just like, I think I'm cooling on billionaires and celebrities. And I was like, oh, shoot. She just has that
Okay,
new,
I'm not going to defend some of Taylor's recent uh choices outside the music studio.
yes.
But if your household is lukewarm on the Toy Story song, I would advise you to listen again, especially if you like Debut. I think that song's great.
Yeah, see, I like that song. But I
Thank
don't know,
you.
it just, it's music, so they come and go. Well, you'll find it when it's time for it. But
That's fine. I can also tell you which well-known Marvel mutants think about Taylor Swift frequently, and
oh,
I
well, I would
don't.
love that list.
I don't. Sure. Well, I don't. I am Kitty, of course. I can't
Right.
help it, but I'm also not. And one of the several ways in which I am obviously not Kitty. although not the most important ones, are that she does not have the same deep attachment to music as an art form,
Oh,
and
sure.
certainly not to chart pop. I'm pretty sure that 616 Kitty enjoys, for example, the music of metric as much as I do.
Okay.
And respects Taylor Swift as an artist and thinks
Sure.
about certainly her favorite album is Midnight's,
Oh, yeah.
with Tortured Poets second,
Yes.
which is uh they're both up there. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think that 616 Kitty thinks as much about Taylor as I do. And not that makes sense primarily because if you exist on that earth and you are a pop music person,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to, for example, Beast, who listens entirely to composed music,
Sure.
um, or Cable, who is just not musical. Some people aren't.
Yeah.
Um, part of your interest in pop music is going to be connected to your mutant community, and you are going to have a ranking of all 13 Dazzler albums.
Yeah. I was
Um,
just thinking the other day about if I had like two radio stations were giving free Dazzler con tickets or Lilac Cheney, like which radio would I be going for? And I was like, I'd probably be going for Dazzler myself, but
so the thing about that choice, which is a lovely choice to think about,
right.
is that Dazzler
It's a car
tickets.
thought.
You know what? Lila Cheney concerts are going to be a much more predictable experience, and you're going to be more likely to find people you want to hang out with.
Sure. Yeah.
Dazzler shows, depending on where she is in her career, are going to be a much more inconsistent affair. And you'll get a better sense of America by going to them.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, and like, I can think of a number of reasons for this. Unfortunately, the Dazzler solo series from the 80s
Hmm.
and the subsequent many on-page appearances of Dazzler, um, the Dazzler solo series was not very good,
No.
and the subsequent uses of Dazzler in comics haven't done enough with her music career to
No.
tell you when she's popular, when she's not popular, and what her musical changes have been like. Because in particular, my favorite Dazzler stories have simply not focused on her actually writing or performing music. They
Like
are
the
the
Outback era, maybe?
no, actually, like
Oh.
the Outback era is great, and I believe it is Miles Stokes's favorite X-Men era, and it's a lot of people's favorite era.
Oh, sure. I'm always a
But
Paul Smith guy myself, but
yes, Paul Smith is one of my favorite X artists. And honestly, Paul Smith drew the definitive Kitty.
yes.
Um, well, that's not true.
Oh,
Paul Smith and Alan Davis are tied for the
oh
people I
yeah.
most want to draw Kitty. Paul Smith drew the definitive Kitty when she was in the X-Men, and it's
Yes.
not close. But no, my favorite Dazzler stories, she shows up in a New Mutants plot, if I'm not
Oh.
mistaken. Um, I'm pretty sure she shows up in the New Mutants plot. It's like in the late 20s in Volume One.
Oh, sure. Well, she probably
Um,
was part of Lila Cheney's band at that point, if I'm remembering correctly.
was she?
Maybe?
This is the Gladiators plot. Isn't she in the Gladiators plot?
Yeah, I think Lila's there too. Or maybe it's just the aesthetic I'm thinking of is
I think
more.
it's the aesthetic. I
Yeah.
think Dazzler. I think Dazzler would have Lila Cheney's band would be a really fun band to be in.
Yes.
Um, think about the tour riders. Uh,
Oh, sure.
I I think Dazzler would have a I think they would have a really hard time playing in each other's bands because they both want to be front people.
Yeah. Yeah, because I want to say whenever she was in Lila's band, she's constantly having like word bubbles of like I should be leading this thing. And it's like,
Yeah,
okay,
that's
Dazzler.
yeah. And then the other really good Dazzler stories are New Excalibur
Yep,
is
that's a great run.
one of the last things that Claremont writes that is in current continuity rather than
Yeah, retro
historical.
series and
Yeah, and that is one of my favorite. No one else seems to have read it. Uh, s- Comic storylines.
oh yeah, I mean I like it. And then they had that crossover of his exiles at one point too.
That's right. That's right. It's very good, and it has Dazzler thinking about what she thinks about a lot, which is her desire for fame okay?
Oh sure.
Um, why does she always end up fighting villains and saving people when she just wants to sing songs and be, applauded for it? And also, why can't she die? Right? No one has ever
Yeah,
explained
which I
why
still
she's
don't think
immortal.
we figured out.
We have not. That is up there among my second favorite. Someone should go back and pick up this thread, but probably no one ever will. Mutant Stories. And we can come back to Kitty right away by getting
Sure.
to my single favorite dropped forever thread, which if um if Marvel wanted to hire me to write a story with Kitty in it,
Yeah,
the DMs are open, but there are tens of
I would love to
thousands of
read
us
it.
out there. Sure, but I'm not holding my breath.
No.
If Marvel wanted to hire me to write 12 issue Kitty series, I would strongly consider looking back at the last arc of the Marjorie Liu Astonishing.
Oh yeah, with Karma.
That was a great arc, but that's not the one I mean.
Oh, okay.
The Karma arc is fantastic, and uh, I recommend it to people regularly, especially people looking for physical disability rep.
Oh,
Um,
sure. I
yeah,
was just thinking about
Karma's.
the date Karma and Kitty went on with like her younger brother or siblings and at the museum. It was a museum, and I was like, man, I just love Kitty and Karma together.
Oh no, they're great. They tried kissing and discovered that they were not romantically compatible.
Right.
But they are besties, and
Hmm.
I hope that someday they'll be metamors because they would be great in that role.
Yeah, I can see
Um,
that. But I cut you off. What was
that's
your,
okay.
what's the plot you
Yeah.
were?
Also, because comics fans are diverse and are at different points in their own life journeys, we should explain that a metamor is your partner's partner.
Oh, yes, yes. I'm sorry. Yeah. I did have
That's
to look
okay.
that up earlier, and I was like, oh, I don't know what this is.
Yeah, no. I'm one of the many things I love about just being deep in X fandom
Hmm.
is that this is a space full of queer people.
Yeah.
It's also a space where it is okay if you're not. And it's a space where a lot of people come in thinking that they are cisgender and thinking that they are straight. And then through reading a lot of X comics and meeting other X fans, discover that they're not.
Sure, right. Or we're all
Um,
like, what's that comment about like we're all on the Kinsey scale of some sort or another? But
uh, that is also true, although it's not what I meant.
oh,
Um,
sure.
yeah, no, I'm talking specifically about people figuring out that who you've always tried to be isn't necessarily
Oh, yes,
who
of
you want to
course.
be. And specifically fandom from Mutant Comics, I wouldn't say this about Cape Comics in general, is one of the places where people can go and safely figure that out at their own pace, which,
Sure,
I
yeah.
certainly did.
Yeah, it's
Helped
not
me. Yeah.
as predominant of an idea as like a Captain America where he's just punching goons in the face for
Captain America
issues
is
on.
not punching goons in the face. Captain America stories, and Jay Editon wrote one, and you've probably read it. The best Captain America stories are about what what the American ideal can be
Oh yes. Well, I
versus
mean the
what
great
it's
ones are.
right. I mean, there are a lot of bad X-Men stories too, but let's talk about the good
Sure.
ones.
Yeah,
Um,
right. I much
where
rather.
right, where were we? Anyway, a metamour is your partner's partner.
Oh, yep.
If you have questions about language around polyamory, my DMs are open. I'm an educator. I do this for people so that my friends who are not educators don't have to. Um, and more excitingly and more interestingly, at the end of the last big story arc in the Marjorie Liu and Gabriel Hernandez Walta, and I should be naming all the pencilers, but I won't. Astonishing run. Um, Bobby Drake has to figure out how not to destroy the world with his
Yes.
amped up ice powers.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to
Great
do
arc.
that, what?
Oh, it's a great arc.
It is a great arc, and in order to not destroy the world with his ice powers, he has to do three things first. One is talk to all of his exes.
Yes.
One, if I remember correctly, is fight Thor and win.
Yeah, right.
And the last one is that Kitty and Mystique and some other people have to work together to remove something called an apocalypse seed that is
Yes.
stuck inside Bobby's body. Where does Kitty put the apocalypse seed?
Oh yeah. Where
She
does she?
says that she put it somewhere. She knows where it is and it's safe.
Mm-hmm.
Where is it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Probably in a jar somewhere.
Uh,
Or buried deep somewhere, but then that's probably not doing great to the ground.
so if I say where I think it might be, it's not in a jar,
Sure.
then neither you nor I nor anyone else who ever hears this podcast will be able to put it into a Marvel story
Oh yes, of course.
because
Mm-hmm.
that's how legal works.
But I'm
So,
intrigued. I think it's worth a one shot or two.
uh, I think it's worth the basis of a 12 issue
Oh
miniseries
no, I'm
starring
sorry. Yeah,
Kitty.
you did have a 12
But
issue plan.
I'm not. I don't want to share. I don't want to share those ideas.
Oh no.
What I mean, realistically, I don't want to share those ideas on a podcast because let's say that Vita Ayala, for some reason, who's
Oh
one of my favorite
sure.
writers, has the same idea by coincidence, and then someone tells them about this podcast, and then they're going to be legally prohibited from using that idea
Yeah.
because ridiculous critic like me happens to have had the same idea, and
Yeah.
I want to read any story Vita Ayala wants to write, which means keeping those sorts of things off the airwaves.
Yes, of course. But I
And
like the elevator pitch though of where is it?
yeah, exactly. Where is it?
Yeah.
Where is it? Yeah. Which I think brings us back to Kitty's best friends and how she is connected to them, which I know is one of the things that you wanted to talk about.
Oh yeah.
And
I know, and I
I'm
did make
gonna,
a list of
Mhm.
friends and everything, but I was like, well, I used to see how the conversation, goes and everything. We weren't gonna do like a issue or anything, but
Yeah,
I know there's sometimes I'm like, oh man, there's like Lockheed plots of like that. I'm like, do I have like a 6 issue Lockheed idea in my head? But
of course you do. Of
yeah,
course you do.
and
Okay,
one
we're
of
gonna lose
them is
video for a
always,
second.
oh,
We're
pardon?
still
Oh,
there. We just lost video for a second. Go on.
oh, sure. But like, one of them's like when they teleport off the Brood planet, like in issue one, Uncanny 166, and then he just shows up at 168, and it's like because they make a big point, be like five to teleport, and you count the heads, and it's the five characters, but not Lockheed. I'm like, well, how did Lockheed get to the mansion? And that's just
So
my quick
in
pitch.
in I want someone to hire you to write. I think it's probably a 6 issue series about that. It would probably interact with non-mutant Cosmic Marvel, or it would be a Shi'ar story. Either way,
Sure, right?
um,
Or it's like a fun other plots, and then like issue one happens to be that issue, and then.
sure,
But I have some ideas. I've
sure.
tinkered with it.
Yeah, obviously they should bring back X-Men Unlimited and give
Yes,
people who are new to writing Cape Comics, one issue story ideas, which is one of the great things that Unlimited was for. I assume you know the Brian K. Vaughan one issue storyline involving Kitty and Maggot.
Oh, I'm trying to think of Kitty and Maga. The first one coming to my mind is unfortunately Claremont's Extreme X-Men, where she's helping them at towards the end of that series.
Oh, I'm sorry, not Maggot, not Maggot, Marrow. I'm a dingbat.
Oh, oh,
They're very
I
different characters.
yes,
Marrow.
and I thought you said Magma, so I threw off.
Oh
Um,
no, Magma is interesting because she is the only straight member of the New Mutants,
oh right, and
and she's
has
frequently alienated by that.
yeah, and she's
Also, the
dated
worst boyfriend.
Mephisto.
Also, oh, I mean, I wasn't even thinking of Mephisto. But yes, Magma consistently has the worst boyfriends and dates the worst people, and I feel bad for her.
Yes, she's lost in the world, just trying to find someone. Oh wait, yeah, yeah, Kitty Marrow. I needed my brain to catch up, but yeah, I that's on
They
X-Men
played
United or Unlimited when they're going the subway and they're trying to stop the trains from blowing up.
correct. They get Flag Smasher as the villain. That's correct. It's number
Yes,
24 or 25. It's somewhere around there.
great issue
That's one of my favorite comic stories ever, and it's certainly one of the best Kitty stories.
and one of the best
And
Marrow stories.
it is one of the best
Not
Marrow
saying
stories.
much, but
I mean, Marrow's a great character.
I love Marrow. But
Yeah, yeah, no, you should read Marrow's story. But it's also one of the few stories that looks in universe at the way that Kitty is often viewed from the outside,
oh sure,
which is as everybody's dream girl,
yes,
right? Because she's never seen herself that way. She is quite aware of her passing privilege, and many good Kitty stories involve her ability to look and act normal and acceptable.
mm-hmm,
Um, Very few good kitty stories in universe involve the fact that other people think she's hot.
sure,
But she does because she was drawn by John Byrne, who drew everyone that way,
yeah,
except villains, have a conventionally attractive body shape, and she's white, and she has lovely hair and so on.
yes. Oh,
And
those
so
curls,
in our universe, she appears to be a lot of people's ideal imaginary girlfriend,
yeah.
which has had good and bad effects on how often she's written. Um, it's been good for her as a character because it means there are a lot of chances to write stories about her. And it means, and this is one of the things I love about Cape Comics as an art form, because you're telling this continuous story in which writers and artists react to previous writers and artists. It
Oh,
means that you can, in universe, tell a story that is about rescuing is the wrong word, about helping your favorite character get out of mistaken or dangerous ideas
oh, sure.
that previous creators have had, both about the character and about how the world should work. And Kitty is a very clear example. Should I go on? Interrupt me
Oh,
whenever you
sure.
want.
Yeah, please. I
Yeah,
was just thinking,
Kitty is
like,
a
yeah, like you
right,
gotta massage the continuity every so often.
right. I mean, the great thing, the annoying thing with Cape Comics continuity is that it can be inconsistent.
Yes.
And I love it when writers try to fix the inconsistencies.
Yes.
That way, I, as a reader, don't have to do it, especially when
Yeah.
the writers are talented. But that also means later writers can go back and argue with previous writers, both about a character and about right and wrong and feelings and how the world should work. And you can see that in a very clear way several times with Kitty. And
Hmm.
not necessarily in the Kitty stories that anybody starts with or should start with, because having stolen a bag of ideas from Bronze Age X-Men and then found exactly the right collaborators and made Buffy.
Oh,
Uh,
right.
Joss Whedon does what he's always wanted to do in the early 2000s and tells stories about Kitty,
Mm-hmm.
um, which means she has sex basically on page, and she has a fake pregnancy and feels bad about it because that's what Joss Whedon does. And then at the absolutely heartbreaking and really screwed up and technically brilliantly done end of the Whedon run, Joss Whedon does exactly what Cape Comics writers promised never to do, which is takes his favorite toy home so no one else can play with her.
Yes. And then we got to thank Matt Fraction for correcting that like 2 years later. But, for a minute there, she
That-
was just
right.
regulated.
No, that's what I was about to do was to thank Matt Fraction,
Yes.
a very underrated X-writer.
Yeah, I love the
Um,
Utopia era. And maybe it's
yeah.
because he did bring Kitty back. So I was like, thank you. I'll love you for all times. But
Well, I love the Utopia era because it is the best and most serious of the several attempts to think about what mutant nationalism is good
yeah,
for, what
well,
it is
they,
like to feel like your people really are under siege and need to defend, I'll just say it, ourselves
yeah.
uh, against the existential threat of force. And the Utopia era does it in a way that really beautifully um, invokes real world parallels. But for once, the real world parallels are not Israel Palestine.
Right.
There is a reason that they do this in San Francisco Bay. And there's a reason that the Utopia era makes us think about Alcatraz. And I don't think
Yes.
Danny Moonstar shows up to explain why. But if you know how to Google, you can know why it would be Danny Moonstar,
Oh, I will have to do that.
right? Oh, wait, do you
Right.
not know this? Wait, do you not know this?
Well, it doesn't instinctively come to me. So
We'll
do you
just put
want?
it there because you are a busy fan and a person with many interests. Um, one of the key moments in the history of Native nations in America, and one of the first moments in which people from many Native nations were able to act together politically, was the radical occupation of the previously abandoned prison island of Alcatraz
Oh,
by the
really?
American Indian movement in, I believe, 1971, in which,
Okay. Oh,
uh,
it's ringing a bell, maybe.
yeah, yeah, no, this is really famous. If you for certain values of famous, a whole bunch of people, probably about 100, with designated leaders in, I believe, 1971, show up on the island of Alcatraz in San Francisco Bay and say, this is Indian territory. We're the American Indian movement, and this is Indian territory, and this is ours. And the settler colonial government can F right off.
I'm having a mental image of seeing protesters now with signs in front of the Alcatraz. So this is ringing.
That's
This is
right.
coming to
That's
me
right.
now.
That's right. And that is a direct parallel to some of what's happening in the Utopia era.
Yes. And maybe the
Uh,
X-Men just work better on islands too, but I don't know.
um, I mean, I honestly, I think the X-Men work best as a super team that uh, gives intergenerational support
Oh, sure.
to a minority, to a horizontal identity. That is,
Mhm.
your parents aren't like you.
Yes.
To a horizontal identity that is sometimes able to pass, sometimes not able to pass, sometimes dangerous, and sometimes not.
Hmm.
That is just shows up throughout an existing wider society. My favorite sort of social presence for all of the X-Men, my favorite This Is the Situation, um, is the Morrison run and the way it was before M Day, where you have mutant town and mutant neighborhoods and mutant subcultures. And if you turn 14 and discover that you can turn green and your head catches fire, um, you have a set of choices to make. You can go to a school where everyone's a mutant.
Mm-hmm.
You can be the only mutant at your small high school. You can hang out with the other two mutants at your large high school. When you turn, 18 or when you're able to leave home, you can move to New York City and get a place in Mutant Town, if you can afford it, um, or not. And if you have enough mutants in the world, then you can tell a range of stories about mutants at various places in their lives who have different kinds of relationships to passing, to disability, to community, to the wish to stand out or blend in. Uh, House of M is a wonderful series. I love it.
Yeah.
And House of M, the event, is a beautifully told story. But it was a bad idea.
Oh, I mean, it comes at a very high cost.
It comes out of, and this appears to happen every so often, like volcanic eruptions in Hawaii. It comes out of the very top people at Marvel
Oh, yeah.
looking at a very creatively fertile status quo and saying, I don't like this. We should go back to the way it was when I was 12.
Yeah. I know it's a
But
shame because the X-Men, when they're not, when you're not forcing them to always survive, like seeing them actually prosper and create a culture, it's just like, oh yeah, like this is what you can do. You can make small communities and everything. And then
yeah,
yeah, the decimation came and
right. That was stupid.
yeah.
I love Krakoa because we got a chance to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, some parts of Krakoa were better handled than others.
Yes.
And like everyone else, I wanted to know more about what was happening on Krakoa when they weren't fighting.
Yes, like more, yeah, like whatever the Infinity comics were doing, but I would have loved that as a
Yes.
printed comic as well.
Well, the Vita Ayala and Rod Rice New Mutants run is right there.
Yes.
That's one of the one of the great monuments of superhero comics as an art form.
Yeah, in the Trials of Mag is it Trials of Magic? Yeah, I think that's the title of it. Like by far one of my
For that
my
series.
favorite Magic titles.
That is a very good series. Do you find it a very good arc rather? Do you
Arc, yeah.
find it plausible? And how do you feel as someone who's read every Ileana story? Do you find it plausible that Ileana just hands the keys to Madeline Pryor?
Oh, well, I think that by that point she's probably just like exhausted with the limbo aspect and is like has been tinkling in the back of her mind of like if I can find someone cool to give this to,
Mm-hmm.
I'm barely here in a ways. I don't rule it, you
Yeah.
know, which I don't know.
Yeah.
Some leaders are better if you can just think about them and not have to see them all the time.
Yeah.
But so maybe but clearly people weren't erupting in limbo either. And then Madeline, it gave Madeline something to do, and I love
Yeah.
Madeline Pryor.
Okay. You and Connor can have a long conversation
Yeah,
about it.
right.
Yeah.
But I
Uh,
can
I,
see her just being like, I don't hang out. It's like her summer house that she never goes to. So she's like, I'll
yeah.
give it to someone else.
Yeah. And I do think it makes sense when it came out, when that arc of the Ayala Rice run came out.
Hmm.
I love the art so much, and I
Yes.
love the way that it gave the other New Mutants something to do in a story centering Ileana, which hadn't
Hmm.
happened in a long time.
Yes.
Um, I wouldn't trust Madeline Pryor to watch my cat,
Oh,
and
sure.
I initially found it questionable that Ileana would actually give that person the keys to an entire realm. But I think it's in character for Ilyana, who does not want to be an administrator of
Yes.
anything
Hmm.
and never has, and is so tired. And a lot of people who are completely tired of their jobs and are ready to quit will
Yes.
quit even though they know their successor will not be great.
And Magic does love a redemption arc, so I can see her being willing to do it.
Oh, in other words, maybe Madeline can have a redemption arc.
Yeah, exactly. Like, well, let's give her
Yeah, yeah,
something to do. And she was quick to be like, and you can't hurt Kokroa, whatever you do. And she's like,
yeah,
sure. And he doesn't help
yeah,
that dark web's literally the next thing she does. So it's like, oops.
yeah, yeah. Sigh.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, you should have Connor on here to talk about Madeline.
Yeah, I would
He'll
love
have.
that.
Yeah, I mean, you should invite him. But you had a list of Kitty's most important relationships, starting with Liliana herself, that you wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
I assume that we can record for 2 hours. I can't record for three.
No, no,
Um,
I think I could probably go for two, but
okay.
also like whenever I wasn't sure when you were what you had going on, so I was like, oh, I'll be respectful of your hour.
I I set aside 2 hours. I don't listen to any podcast that goes on for more than 2 hours at a time, but
Sure.
obviously we have more than an hour of comics to talk about, so I'm here
Oh,
for
nice.
you. You had some the image of me if you're on YouTube, we'll be back in a moment.
Okay, sure.
Ask some questions.
Yeah. Well, actually, at my top of my friendship list was Lockheed, but just because I'm Lockheed centric these days. But like I'm a sucker for an animal companion, and just like the two of them, there was that great
Yeah, that's right.
three-part
That's
late
right.
astonishing X-Men run where they're finally reunited once she's back from space. And
Oh yeah. Yeah.
he's an Agent of Sword, and they have that great moment, and it might be like issue 63 or so, and or 43.
I
And
think it's 43 because I think it's before Marjorie Liu takes over the book.
yes.
Yeah.
And so, and they're like, and he's talking by then that we've established she does have his own speech bubbles and Kitty can understand it, but we're only treated to her side of the conversation. But they
Right.
do that awesome comics thing of um she repeats enough for us to know what he was saying that will only work in a comic.
Yeah. Yeah.
But and she's like, and clearly
Yeah.
they're just
That's
both
right.
hurt, and they didn't get to talk to each other much after the reveal in Whedon's astonishing. But then we get that great moment where they hug and the big heart
Yeah.
surrounds them, and
Yeah.
I'm just like I don't
Yeah.
know, I just love those two.
Yeah, no, they're great. And one of Kitty has in Lockheed what many of us wish we could have, which is your cat can talk to you.
Oh, sure. Yeah, right.
Of course, no one else can understand what your cat is saying,
No.
but if you're not sure how your cat is feeling, you can just ask,
Mm-hmm.
and you know that your cat loves you. But this is not a humanoid. Um, no one, I hope, will ask if the relationship is sexual or
Yeah.
romantic, and no one will deny that it's close.
Yeah, definitely close.
And you are not day to day responsible for everything about your companion's welfare.
Yeah.
And when your companion wants to go have adventures, your companion can leave and come back.
Exactly.
I
And if
like
you
that.
need extra help, like your
Right.
companion can show up and attack whatever you're attacking as well.
And breathes fire.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Um, and I love the way that it has been gradually established that Lockheed is as smart as people,
Yes. Hmm.
and can understand all human language, or at least English. I don't know how many other human languages Lockheed speaks.
Though Agent
Um,
Brand implied he speaks more languages than the professor, and it's like that part of the reveal I liked, but then the rest of
oh
it,
yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Um, and has a species and is not the last of his kind.
right?
And I love the way that Lockheed has gradually been developed. There is an unlimited story, which I th I think Paul Smith drew it.
Yes.
Uh,
Hmm.
yes, there is a beautiful unlimited story in which Lockheed gets stuck in an, I believe, English village. Is it Scottish or English?
Oh, I want to say it's English, but maybe that's just because the schoolgirl uniforms they're wearing makes me think English.
I think they're English.
Yeah.
Um, I think they're English. Uh, one of them has bright red hair, which implies something in England and Scotland.
Oh,
But that doesn't tell you, where they are. Yeah, where Lockheed realizes that the mean girl is not the mean girl.
right.
That's
And
what
the two
Lockheed says.
girls he's with are actually the mean girls.
Right. And if you've ever been friends with someone who turned out not to be who you thought that they were, it is quite affecting.
Yes. And that's
Um,
another one drop plot too, where they literally start off with Lockheed's narration boxes like Kitty and I got separated after that explosion. And it's like,
right.
well, clearly this happens between Excalibur 125 and X-Men 80.
Yeah.
And we've never seen that story. So that's another plot. I'm like, well, we need that story then.
Sure. Sure. Yeah. Um, we've also never really seen Kitty recover from the mistake of dating Pete Wisdom.
Right.
But there's a
Well, I liked it
reason
at
for that.
first, but yeah, like clearly it was never meant to last.
Well, maybe Warren Ellis meant it to last, but who cares?
Right.
Uh,
Yeah. Ugh.
this brings me to something else about Kitty, and then you can bring up the other people who are closest to
Oh,
her.
sure.
Um, she understands that she often needs to be in superhero stories where punches are thrown,
Yes. Or ninja
um,
kicks.
or ninja kicks. She understands that that is part of her life, and she has to do that regularly, and some of her best friends enjoy that.
Mhm.
She would rather not. And one of the challenges in writing a kitty-centered story, which many, well, not many, Claremont and Ewing in particular understand, is that if you're going to do this as a Marvel comic that runs for more than one issue, you have to have reasons why there's a fight.
Yeah. Hmm.
Which means that when Kitty gets to do something that is emotionally important for her, but there's no fight, you only get one issue in which to tell that story. And there are a number of single issue Kitty stories, some of the best ones, in which that happens. But Kitty deals with her feelings and figures out what she really wants to do when there's no superhero fight. Those are some of the most important parts of her life, but they happen in between the panels. They happen as long form subplots, so you can have a fight on the next page involving other people. They can't be arcs because then it would be an indie comic.
Right.
And that's okay. That is one of the things that one of the sort of compromises you make when you are reading the greatest Marvel or DC comics, and in return you get these great characters and decades of continuity, and sometimes Paul Smith draws them. But I'm thinking of the way that Eve Ewing's Exceptional runs.
Hmm.
My favorite panel of comics this decade is the one from Exceptional number 2, in which Kitty is at the soccer game
Oh,
with Nina, realizing that she has to go help some kids. And she is, I believe, about to phase through the bleachers. And she is, I believe she says it to herself, since modern comics don't like thought balloons.
right.
But which is okay. I talk to myself too.
Sure.
I believe it's a regular
Me too.
speech balloon, where she says, is my civilian life just going to be about becoming baby mutant rescue lady?
Right.
And the answer is yes. Your personality and your skill set and your friend group and your dating pool mean that you are, in fact, going to be for the rest of your life baby mutant rescue lady.
Yeah, like that's the X-Men for you. Unless you're on
Well,
a kill squad, then
no, that's Kitty for you.
yeah.
Most of the X-Men are not generally called into adventure and hijinks specifically because there is someone, there's some young mutant who's having a lot of angst, who needs either physical saving or pedagogy.
Oh,
Most of the X-Men, even the ones who have been teachers frequently, do not have vocations for teaching.
oh,
The
sure.
two, the
Yeah.
two who obviously do, three if you count Chuck, but the two who obviously do are Kitty and Emma.
Yes, I love those two together.
Right. And the reason that they work so well together, despite having initially, been enemies, the reason they work so well together is that they should be running a school. And Eve Ewing understood this, and
Hmm.
Bendis understood this. And I don't know if you remember the first appearance of Kitty in House of M. Do you remember that panel?
Where she's oh yeah, she's a teacher.
She is a middle school teacher in Cincinnati, and that is what she would be doing if there were no anti-mutant prejudice.
Yeah, right. And I love that giant size House of M with Miss Marvel, where we get a little bit
Correct.
more House of M Kitty.
Correct. And that was where I realized that I actually liked Giant Size House of M.
Right.
That is exactly what Kitty should be doing.
Hmm.
And it uses both of those characters beautifully. And like most teachers, although I teach college students, except when I get high school students in summer school, which I enjoy teaching, but
Sure.
I usually teach college students.
Yeah.
And I have a much easier life. People who are teaching middle school and high school students,
Yeah.
it is exhausting
Yeah. No, my
because
wife
you're
teaches
responsible.
special education in an elementary school, and she's just exhausted
Oh,
before
okay.
school, after school, thinking about school. It's
Okay. Yeah. Great grade schoolers are different, and I know nothing about how to teach them.
sure.
And you do, and good for her and good for you. But yeah, K-12 education is exhausting because of the amount of attention you continuously have to pay to people who don't know how to manage their emotional lives yet. Not that
Yes.
adults do a great job at it either, frankly.
But less
Um,
hand-holding.
different kind of hand-holding.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah.
adults can more often go for longer periods without hand-holding.
Hmm.
Um, I like hand-holding,
Yeah.
but it's good to be able to let go and know that someone's not going to jump off the roof before you get back.
Right.
Which brings us, of course, to the greatest roof scene in all of Cape Comics.
Oh, yes.
You have the mic.
Yeah, X-Men Go 30, I believe we're
Correct.
talking about. Oh,
Yeah,
oh
you're
yeah, you
correct.
wrote that great poem about it too.
I did. Thank you. Yeah, no, uh that's one of my favorite things I've ever written.
Oh,
And
impressive. I love it.
I mean, I don't know my goal with that, since it creates a nexus between two of my but it creates a nexus between my OTP and my favorite poet of classical antiquity.
Oh,
And I would like to believe that more Sapphic people and more fans of Sappho's poetry have started reading X comics. And I would like to believe that more people who read a lot of X comics have, gotten into actual Sappho through that poem. But I don't I don't think I have those powers.
No,
That is
but
a
it's a
goal.
great goal or an
Thank you.
intention.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I mean it is uh it is a goal, and I was so happy to realize that Sappho 31 really is about exactly the situation that our girl Magic found herself in at the wedding.
Yeah.
And I was sort of floored when X-Men Gold number 30 came out. I was not expecting that. I did not realize that Mark Guggenheim had it in him to be able to write with that psychological power. I did know that
Yeah.
David Marquez could draw that well,
Right. Yeah.
so good for him.
Hmm.
Um, and just the way that light and shadow are handled in that scene, I forget who the colorist is,
Oh yeah.
but
It's a great looking comic.
it is a comic that does absolutely everything right.
Hmm.
And I wish that I had the technical vocabulary to be able to praise not only the penciler, which comics fans normally do, but the colorist
Oh yeah. No,
or
I've
have.
tried to get better about it too, because well, it was exceptional where I finally learned Nolan Woolward's name, and it was like I gotta love colorists a lot more often because
Yeah,
like they just bring, and then when the pencilers change but the colorist stays, it has this nice visual continuity. And
yeah,
so I'm trying to be better about it. They're not all Chris Bacalo where he's the colorist sometimes as well.
yeah. Well, Rod Rice too. I believe he always does his own
Oh
color.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So do you want to talk more about Tatiana, or do you want to talk more about X-Men Gold 30, or do you want to talk
Oh no,
about
I
Mr.
mean X-Men
Summer,
30, I
Gasama,
do
or...
want to say how brilliant they did for the marketing aspect too about how we
Mhm.
knew a Mr. and Mrs. X was coming and how
Yes.
that comic just gives you, well, that comic also gave us the Lockheed family where now I can know in my heart if we don't see Lockheed, he's at least with out there with Puff and their two children. So
Yeah,
I love
and
that.
yeah, yeah. And if we don't when we don't see Gambit, he is at home taking care of his cats while his
Yes,
wife has
exactly. And
adventures.
one day, hopefully, we get another X Pets, not another, just a X Pets book. But we have so many of those animals now, they can do their own.
I don't think Gambit's cats have any use for Lockheed.
No,
I don't want an X Pets book, but I do want more pets in X books.
right. Well, I mean, there's Ember now and Waffles, the robot dog, or the
And there's
sentinel
well,
shaped robot.
and don't forget Amazing Baby.
Yes, Amazing Baby, and whoever that purple goblin magic was given at the end of Exterminators. That's another plot too. I'm like, does she not have
Oh,
that purple guy anymore?
I had forgotten about the purple guy.
Yeah. I
Thank you.
I think it's towards the I think it gets one page of like it's a page reveal like and this was your reward.
I don't know that Ilyana wants pets.
No.
In fact, I'm sure she doesn't, because I think from her point of view, just taking care of herself is hard enough. I think the
Yeah.
last thing she wants is responsibility for anyone who can't talk and care for her
Yeah.
in return. And if you I'm now thinking about that great single issue of the Bendis Uncanny. I think it's number 35, where Kitty and Ilyana are both embroiled in just a lot, right? Battle of the Atom's been happening.
Yes. Hmm.
And Ilyana grabs Kitty's arm and says, "We haven't been spending enough time together.
Yeah.
We are going to go to Monster Island and do a one shot, and it's going to be fun, and we're going to fight things, and we're going to save a kid."
Yeah. It might be
And then they do it.
33 now that I'm
It might be
thinking of it.
33. It might be
But
33. We can look it up in real time if you want, but it's somewhere in there. It's the Monster Island
yes.
single issue story in the Bendis run of Uncanny, and it is perfect.
And yeah, they meet that cute little girl who's a big Thor fan.
Right, who has sort of light manipulation powers that
Yeah,
are really
something.
dangerous, and she needs some help. Have we ever seen her again?
No, I don't believe so, unless she's done like a quick panel thing. But I want to say I looked her up on Marvel fandom because every so often I want to, not read the comic again, but just experience it again. So I look at the
Sure.
fandom page for it, and I'm just like, oh,
Sure.
did she ever show up? And I want to say she didn't, but she would have been perfect for Krakoa.
I assume that she was on Krakoa and she was fine.
Sure,
Something else
right?
I love about the Krakoa era, and there's so many things to love about it,
Yes.
is that if you haven't seen your favorite obscure Marvel mutants for a long time, during the Krakoa era, you could assume that they were somewhere on Krakoa
Yes.
and
Hmm.
they were fine. And again, this is partly just praise for the Vita Ayala New Mutants, but there are so many Krakoa stories to be told about how you build institutions and how you build community in a new society that is built around horizontal identity. So you can't just do what you grew up doing.
Yeah.
Those are much more interesting stories for me about building a post-revolutionary society than the very, very familiar and very American stories that we all grew up with about getting together to have a revolution and overthrow a tyrant.
You're right.
That's the easy part. The hard part is you are now no longer under the dominion of a tyrant. The institutions with which you grew up have failed you and your friends, and you have no wish to rebuild them. What are you going to do? And I love, since this is a Kitty and Ilyana podcast,
Yeah.
I love the way that during the Ayala run of New Mutants, it is Ilyana who writes a letter, right? And I believe Danny like co-signs. But I believe it is Ilyana who writes a letter to the Quiet Council saying, I know everybody hates school, but you've got to build a school
Yes.
because
That data page.
the 12-year-olds are running around burning things down, and the 15-year-olds are bored, and we don't have to have grades or tests or capitalism, but we need a school.
Yeah, some structure.
Yeah, and of course she's right. And it's too bad that Kitty couldn't be there, but she was off being a pirate.
Sure.
Uh, and sometimes you have to go be a pirate.
Yeah. I mean, she was so happy being a pirate until
Oh,
Shaw
she
showed
loved
up.
being. I have a poem about that too. You have read it, I think.
Oh, oh yeah, yeah, that's right. I was
Yes,
trying to
there
remember
are.
when that book came out in relation to Krakoa, but you're right, that was in there.
Yeah, I mean, there's. This is not a Stephanie's poetry podcast, nor should it be.
It could be
But
though.
I do have a number of mutant poems that and Marvel poems that were written after For All Mutants. Some of them are
Okay.
in the kind of proper Perfect Bound book that came out from my sort of primary publisher, Grey Wolf, afterwards, called We Are Mermaids, which I'm not sure if I've sent you. And there are going to be a couple more in the book that I have coming out next year, which is called Read the Room. There is a Bobby Drake poem, which I'm very
Oh,
happy with, and is full of
nice.
puns because it's Bobby.
Sure.
And there is a Paige Guthrie poem, which I never expected to write, even though I love her.
I love Paige. Yeah, not enough love for Husk out there.
Not nearly enough love. I did an event in Iowa at the University of Northern Iowa last year. And Iowa has some of my favorite X fans. It is an underrated state. Um,
Sure.
and one of the students who I met at the University of Northern Iowa in Cedar Falls, Iowa, was a student whose parents had actually named her Paige Guthrie. Her
Oh,
last name
really?
was Guthrie, yes. Um, and she was quite familiar with Husk and wanted to talk about Husk. And so I promised that student a Husk poem, and it's in the next book.
Oh, nice.
We'll make sure you get it. Read the Room out
Please.
from Grey Wolf in 2027. Now my publisher is happy because I pushed my
Yeah.
book. But yeah, and what did I want to bring up a moment ago? It was
Oh.
not Iowa. It was not Generation X. Um, it'll come back to me. Your topic.
Oh, sure. Well, I was thinking about how just not everyone can be going to the Green Lagoon all the time. Like, you like I don't know if Krakoa gave us other side spots besides a bar, but I like to think those kids were running around having a good time. Um,
Oh, I'm sure they were.
yeah,
I'm sure they
like they
were.
seem,
And right. And Krakoa also ran into the two problems of first, uh big two comics need to have fights in them.
yeah,
That's a genre requirement. Uh I don't like that that's a genre requirement, but I put up
right.
with it and sometimes they're fun to read about. Second, and this is not unique to comics at all, much less to Cape Comics. Stories about people just having fun together and not
Yeah.
having giant emotional problems to solve
Mm-hmm.
are uh, very hard to tell well. And we do have a name for stories we follow in which nothing really substantial is at stake and everyone is having fun, and the name is sports.
Oh, what's that called?
That's called sports. That's called the
Oh, oh,
Minnesota
yes, of
Lynx.
course.
That's
I
called the
thought you were
Minnesota
saying,
Lynx versus the Las Vegas Aces for the WNBA championship.
yeah, that's just a good competitive.
Right, right. And I would not mind seeing whether there were sports only mutants could play and how they worked. I'm sure that the kids made them up if the adults hadn't made them up on Krakoa, and I'm sure they existed during the Morrison era. We do, of
Oh, sure.
course, have many stories in which uh, the X-Men play baseball, and we
Yes.
have a couple where they play basketball.
Oh, mm-hmm.
And
Some
it
ice
is
hockey.
interesting. I believe there's ice hockey stores. I think not many.
No,
No, I assume there are Alpha Flight ice hockey stores, although I haven't read
sure.
them.
I know there's
Um,
one where Logan's doing it and Kitty and Iceman are there. I think it's during the Wolverine the X-Men era.
where Logan's
And
playing ice hockey?
yeah. Oh, I think he's coaching, like he's guiding the two teams to play.
Oh, that would make sense. That
Yeah.
would, I mean, that would actually make sense. I don't remember that moment. Wolverine and the X-Men is a fascinating and very fun, uneven uh,
Yes.
title, but the best moments are great.
Yes,
Um,
exactly.
yeah, and actually, my favorite, and again, it's a single issue because in Cape Comics you can do a single issue without a fight, but you can't do an arc. My favorite single issue of Wolverine and the X-Men is the one where they need to hire a new teacher,
Yes, I love that
and they're
issue.
just running job interviews, and I love it. And like every teacher, Kitty does not want to be an administrator,
No,
but sometimes you need an administrator, and the people who really want to be administrators generally are not the people who should be, which is
no,
the entire run of Wolverine and the X-Men. Wolverine does not actually want to be a school principal.
no. He's constantly
But
trying to go to Japan as much as he can.
well, he is in fact. Does he go to Japan during that run?
I know he goes at one point because I think I have a clear picture of Kitty taking Quentin Quire to Logan's office because she's tired of him, and finally it's like off to Japan, and then it
Okay.
starts
Yeah.
read Wolverine 300 for Japan adventure.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
okay.
So it happened in the Wolverine solo title. That explains it. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean we're all tired of Quentin Quire.
Yeah.
And Quentin Quire is best when he is a side character and he's
Yes.
super annoying and you're not sure whether he's actually evil.
Right. Or you just read his shirt and I'm like, okay, I got it this issue, and then you move on.
Oh, the shirt running gag is so good, and it starts.
Yes.
I believe it starts in the Morrison run. I love the shirt gag.
Yeah. And I liked him in
Um,
Omega Kids from the Age of Revelation. I was like, oh, this is a Quentin who's older. He still has a little edge, but he's clearly 30 now and not rebellious as he used to be.
He's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, Age of Revelation was such a train wreck. Uh,
Oof. Yeah.
but yeah, I am not remembering what role Quentin plays in the generally superb Age of X-Man. Do you remember?
Oh.
I don't remember.
I mostly was a big fan of Apocalypse and the Extras because that was the Kitty side book.
Yeah,
So
that was fine. That was not the great achievement of that era.
no.
But the whole era was very, very beautifully done. I've written about it. Um, Unfortunately, I think I've only written about it in like a scholarly
Oh,
context.
okay. I was
It
like, oh,
was
I
it was
wonder
in
I
a book
missed
about
that.
Ursula K. Le Guin, which hit me up if you actually want to read it.
Sure,
But
I'll
but
be
all of
interested.
all of Age of X-Men, yeah, remind me. But all of Age of X-Man was just, I thought, super well done.
Okay.
And it was a way of asking important questions about justice and equity and how you would want to organize a society.
Yeah, I remember the Bishop book being a pretty solid one about, detainments and um justice.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean that this is not in particular a Kitty or Ilyana question, unfortunately, but one of the big questions, if you're interested in real world social justice, is how we can recognize all the ways in which the country that both you and I happen to live in
Mhm.
depends on a hypertrophic carceral system
Yeah.
and on uh, a lot of police who do many things, some, at least some of which shouldn't be done, and
Yes.
then how to imagine how to make things better, right? Because what we have is not good.
No.
Um, Sometimes people are violent, and it is important to have some way to uh, address or alleviate violence.
Hmm.
America is mostly doing it wrong. It is hard to imagine the right way. And this is not about and the part of Age of X-Man that was about prisons was one of the really few attempts that Marvel Comics at least has made to think about uh, the prisons and carceral justice. I can think of two others. One was the Sabretooth miniseries written by Victor LaValle,
Oh, yes,
Gary
yes.
Sapoa, and
The Pit.
the other was the Solid and Ahmed Black Bolt comic,
Oh, I don't think I read
which
that one.
it is beautifully drawn and very well written. It wasn't really my thing. It didn't pursue topics that are like my topics,
Sure.
but it was very much about what happens when someone who's been in prison gets out of prison
Oh,
and
sure. Yeah.
how to live not with guilt, which, everyone has some kind of guilt,
Right.
but about having been incarcerated and what happens afterwards.
Yeah.
It's good. Um,
Okay, I'll seek that out. Yeah, I like like I'm trying to the Inhumans I've loved was the Jenkins Lee Maxi series. Um, and then pretty much anything that has Crystal or Lockjaw in it, I'm willing to at least attempt to read. Oh, and
oh,
Sean McKeever did a great Inhumans like younger title.
I'm not sure I know that title. You wanted to talk about Kitty and Karma,
Oh,
or
sure.
possibly
Yeah.
possibly about Kitty and Ilyana, or I think you're not terribly interested in Rachel Summers based on where the conversation's going, which is fine. But
Rachel
I
was
do love a
next on my
character.
list, but then I was like, well, is Rachel too big of a topic at this point? But But I do love Karma Mechanics, which
Yeah,
I forget how I mispronounced it for years. I think I did it like Mechanics. I never hearing it aloud. And then
I
Comic
have
Book
always
Queers. Oh,
I have always thought it was simply mechanics.
well, that's the thing. I was pronouncing it like a crazy person, and then Comic Book Queers was talking about, which is one of my favorite like, comic book podcasts,
Hmm.
with Brad and Evil Jeff, and all of a sudden they were talking about mechanics, or no, I'm sorry, mechanics.
Hmm.
That old habits are hard to break, and then all of a sudden I
Yeah.
was like, "What's this mechanics they're talking about?" Then literally I was like, "Oh, Karma and Kitty," and I was like, I don't know, I felt every so often I get embarrassed about the mechanics of it all.
Yeah. Uh, Asher Elbine, who I'm sure you follow on social media.
Oh,
Uh, Maybe you
yeah.
don't.
Maybe I are they a writer or a
I think the pronouns are he, might be he, they. But yeah, Asher Elbine is a critic and a very, very good one, and wrote probably the best thing that I've read about Magneto and Israel Palestine.
oh, okay.
And asked on social media a few weeks ago for a fanfic in which uh, Shan, Rachel, and Ilyana just go out for, do they all drink? I think they all drink.
Hmm.
Go out for beer and talk about how annoying it is to date Kitty.
Sure.
So
That'd be funny.
I promised him that I would write that fanfic. I do have a publicly available, I don't mind if my students read it, safe for work AO3 tag.
Oh, sure.
It is easy to find. And at some point when I have the time, I will write that because that would be fun to read. And it would be, I think, um, Ileana and Rachel talking about how during the periods when they're both dating Kitty, which are
Hmm.
substantial, um, calendar management is even harder than it is for many of us. Um, about what it's like when she can't concentrate on either of them because she's preoccupied with her students.
Yeah.
You may have noticed that I am in fact Kitty.
Yeah,
Um,
right.
and Shan talking about how because Kitty is of course an idealized version of me that's and has been through more. I'm not,
Sure.
I'm not very cute, but I would like to be.
Oh, I don't
Uh,
know about that.
Thank you. I didn't mean to be fishing for compliments, but I will
Yeah, I
accept that
know.
one.
But I took the
You are
bait.
right. You are very cute too in a way that
Oh,
is gender appropriate. Uh,
thank you.
but you are. Um, uh, Karma talking about how good Kitty is with kids, and how it's pretty great to try dating someone, realize that they should be dating people who aren't you, and then get to compare notes and hang out with them.
Yeah.
Because that's clearly what happened. Those two are probably too similar,
Karma and Kitty?
yes, to each other
I can see that.
to make a long-term romance a good idea. Whether it's a good idea for them to sleep together is up to individual readers of fan fiction
Sure.
and what you're into. I am absolutely in favor of fictional characters sleeping together to see if they enjoy it, as long as they
Um,
both understand, how enthusiastic consent works.
sure.
Something else that should be explained on page in a Marvel comic and probably can't be
Yeah.
yet. That's something that I hope we can see, before we die.
Yeah.
But I really love the way, and again, this is how Cape Comics are good at building into the story facts about the real life company owned comic and its constraints and its readership. I
Yeah.
love the way that because when Mechanics comes out, Kitty is not allowed to kiss girls
Right.
on on page, um, Kitty and Shan almost kiss,
Yes.
and it is impossible because I think there's a burning building. It's impossible for
Yeah,
them
or
to both
some
to see. But
explosion or whatever those cybernetic guys are doing.
right. I love how I think they're the like Alpha Sentinels or Mini Sentinels. They're
Yeah.
the tiny little sentinels that fly around. I I love how the comic tells you that Kitty and Shan come as close as they can to kissing on page, but
Yes.
they're unable. In the same way that Kitty, almost throughout her multi-decade career in comics, has come as close to kissing girls on page,
Right. Or
but
being able to
can't.
just comment about it aloud.
Right. And of course now she can, thank you, Eve Ewing.
Yes.
But it took a while.
Yeah. And poor Nina, like, I don't know. Did you read the Hellfire Murder one shot that came out?
Oh, that's right. I wrote about it briefly along with all the other Comics XF kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. You were part of that
It's
chat,
fun.
but what do
Yeah.
you think
Yeah.
about her and Marguerite or Mark? How you pronounce the yeah, Martinique.
Is
I should have been confident. The mastermind.
Oh, so she dances with a woman where she's not sure who that is.
Right.
Was that Martinique?
It was because later on when we see the Hellfire Brotherhood, she's that last gal there. But we don't get a clear panel ever, the two of them being like, what are we doing? Or who
Yeah.
was that gal? But
Uh-huh.
I had to have someone point it out, like, yeah, it's the same costume, they just different artists, which is
Yeah.
like, oh, sure.
Yeah.
And
Well,
one's post-party costume, so it's
yeah.
missing a few pieces, which is
Hmm.
why I didn't click it.
Yeah. Well,
But I was like, those
apparently,
two, I liked them together.
I mean, it's a lovely ballroom dancing scene.
Yes.
Apparently you had to point it out to me. Do we know that Kitty ever figures out who she was dancing
No,
with?
Kitty doesn't know her, and she doesn't know Kitty, so that's a hopefully a ball that does get picked up because I hate for that to not get. I hate to see it get dropped.
I would not mind that ball being dropped
Oh,
because I don't want my girl getting involved with a mind control lady who is still trying to figure out if she's a villain or not.
oh yeah, I guess there will be those implications. Plus, Kitty and Mystique and Destiny. I don't know. There's a part of me that's like, well, maybe that could be a fun little excursion because I don't know what's
Oh,
going to happen if X-Men United, but everyone's
I
saying it's
mean,
going to end at 10.
I
But so
believe
it's
it
like,
is
well,
going to end at
where's
10.
Kitty going
I
to go
believe,
after that? But
well, we'll see. I just hope that as long as Eve Ewing is willing to work with Marvel Editorial,
yeah,
that she gets control of the character because we know that Marjorie Liu is not going to come back to Marvel.
no, or the Leah Williams is probably never coming back either.
I think that Leah Williams is being treated rather well by DC.
Yes. Well, that's the thing. And I don't know, I love Exterminators. I'm like, please more like I wish we got this annually, but I'm like, well, Marvel wasn't or maybe it's the readers, maybe it's a combination, but I was like, oh, I can see why many Krakoa writers are not currently writing X-Men or
I
Marvel
think,
comics at the moment, but
oh, a few are. I think Jerry Duggan's fine.
oh yeah, Jerry
But
Duggan. I've been
yeah,
liking his
but
Godzilla run minis.
you are like the third person to tell me to read Godzilla comics, which
Oh, yeah.
I at
They're
some point,
yeah. Magic's
I
in them every so often. She seems to show up at the end of the miniseries, but so they get my money that way. But and the issue that just came out today had Emma and Miles Morales, and I'm like, I like these two, and clearly they have a clear teacher-student situation or something where she's
of
guiding him.
of Godzilla.
Yeah, the oh gosh, it's Godzilla Conquers the Multiverse issue 3. It's out today.
Okay, fine. I'll read Godzilla
I know.
comics.
They're
Okay, you sold
very
me.
silly and very fun, but you know,
Silly like Jeff the Land Shark or silly like
I
Scorpion?
would say more Jeff the Landshark, but I will give you a Noel content warning that Noel is deeply involved in this current arc and the previous one. And I'm just not connecting with that villain. I'm just like, all right. Marvel keeps finding ways to put him in comics I read, so I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, well, if we've put up with Sebastian Shaw for decades, we can put up
Right.
with that.
And
Um,
Sebastian Shaw got what was coming to him. So see how long that lasts.
that guy. There are many ex-villains, and they tend to be kitty villains who have really lovely long-term face turns.
Yes.
And Emma is obviously the best and best known. Um,
Yes.
and there are a handful of Marvel villains where, sorry, you just have to kill them.
Yeah. And Shaw would be like once he tried to kill both Kitty and Lockheed, who I'm pretty sure can't be resurrected. I was just like, all
Right.
right, Shaw has to go.
No, yeah, Shaw, of course, I got it as a knuckle tattoo briefly, right? That's a good
Yeah.
knuckle tattoo. Yeah, no, Shaw's one of the few villains who simply cannot be redeemed.
No.
Almost like the Red Skull.
Yeah, he doesn't regret investing in the Sentinels. He probably just wishes he'd done it earlier. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, and this is another element that is structural to long form company owned Cape Comics. They require their talented writers and artists, and therefore their readers, to think about how most people who have done terrible things have redemption arcs in them, and it's
yeah,
not necessarily for us as mere mortals to figure out where that starts or how it's going to work. You have to start your own redemption arc yourself. There are really unusual individuals. Unfortunately, one of them lives in the White House, uh, who clearly just are harming so many other people
yeah, with lasting
that
effects, I
the
don't know if we can
best,
ever unturn.
right, the best that we can hope for those people is that they can end up in a position where I'm going to start the sentence again, is to comprehensively prevent them from harming others.
Yes.
Which within, obviously, it means something totally different in our universe, but within the universe of Cape Comics, that does mean that the violent part of the story is the end of the story, like
Yeah,
within the
two
universe.
people I want to never see turn villain again be Pyro and Fred Dukes. Like, I just
Oh,
love their
Fred.
arcs so
Oh,
much.
yeah. I mean, Pyro is ridiculous, and I don't have feelings about him other than he's fun for artists to draw.
Yes. And
Fred
he was
Dukes
great in
is
Marauders. It was probably the first time I
sure.
cared about Pyro and his
That's right.
well-being.
That's right. Same. Same. Fred Dukes is lovely, and the Fred Dukes in of Age of X-Man was one of the best things about it.
Oh,
And it was the first time, Age of X-Man was the first time I've seen a Marvel comic really comprehensively deal with the fat phobia that is constant throughout the
yeah.
Claremont run and is arguably the worst thing about the initial 17-year Claremont run. Nobody nobody touched Claremont on the shoulder and said many real people are round and big.
Yeah.
Can you please remember that?
Right.
And if someone had told Claremont and Art Adams
Oh,
uh, that um, fat people don't want to get thin necessarily. Fat people want respect and
oh.
adequate medical care
Yeah, body
and a better
positivity.
society. And I have a particular just bug up my butt about fat phobia in the Asgardian Wars
Oh.
because
Oh,
that's
yes.
why I can't teach it. The
Right.
Asgardian Wars, both parts, are some of the greatest achievements of Cape Comics.
Yeah.
Um, and I do teach X-Men versus Alpha Flight, and it teaches beautifully. And ideally, you read it alongside Ursula K. Le Guin's The Lathe of Heaven, and then you compare notes.
Right.
Um, but you can't teach the second half of the Asgardian Wars because the Shan arc is
Mm-hmm.
too offensive.
Yeah.
The Shanark will send people, especially uh, you know, traditional age undergraduates, uh, home angry or crying, and they should
Right.
be angry. You should be
Yeah.
angry. They really fucked up.
Yeah.
And the fact that the art is beautiful doesn't excuse how badly they fucked up. And it makes me very sad because the rest of that extraordinarily ambitious and beautiful story works out so well. Every single other character in that very crowded story.
I mean, I don't
That
love magma being turned into that fairy creature, and like there's some body issues there too of how she just clearly hates that stature she now finds herself in, and I'm just like, oh, like it's the other side of the problem now. But
honestly, Magma has been conventionally attractive her whole life
right.
and has been looked up to
Hmm.
and um being turned from something I mean, I'll start that sentence again. I don't mind it. And if you're going to turn Magma into something else that will give her some issues
Right.
and won't cause her to be misgendered and won't cause people to go, "Ugh," and point at her and go, "That's ugly." Magda's
Hmm.
just having other issues that have to do with power and the loss of power and whether she can be treated as an adult. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I also have an
Um,
issue. I mean, I love, well, besides the karma of it all, but the choice to put Magic in that white bikini that she looks great in, but then
mhm.
knowing where you're going to take her in that story where Enchantress is going to torture her while she's wearing that bikini, I'm just like, I don't love that choice. You couldn't do a costume change at one point to make her so she's not bondage and, I don't know. It's the wrong
Well,
sexy for
okay,
me, but
okay. I mean, situations without enthusiastic consent are not sexy,
exactly.
but in it's so
You nailed
it's
it.
not sexy. It is a sexy costume.
Yeah.
But at that point, and if you look at who the Enchantress is as a villain, and you look
Mhm.
at the visual norms and the visual clashes in that story, and then you look at what she's already been through and what that character does. So many of the visual choices around Liliana for her entire career as a character have been about the same thing that a lot of real life bondage people are interested in,
Oh, sure.
which is taking symbols of oppression and domination and violence and turning them into symbols of autonomy and eroticism and empowerment that look the same but whose meanings are different. That is the in universe justification for the boob window costume
Hmm.
and for all of the skin that most of her best costumes show,
Right.
and for the visual style that she consistently adopts. And it is very psychologically right to me that someone with her sense of distance and autonomy and independence and history of trauma, and frankly, place on the ACE spectrum.
See, I love Katyana so much, and it'd be cool to see them date. But there is a part of me that's just like, I think Ilyana reads more Ace to me. Like, I don't.
Okay, I'm I'm sorry, you're wrong.
Oh,
You're
okay.
great. You're great, and I
No, no.
love this podcast project, and you're usually right, and you're almost right there. Is this podcast go out edited? Do you edit it, or are we just putting this up on the
Oh,
air?
usually I put it out clear, but I'll admit I don't know how to do the editing.
That's
Software.
fine.
But I'm okay if
I
you
have
calling
said
me wrong. And maybe I
no, no, no,
mean,
no.
is it
I've
Ace or the other one?
Okay, well, we're gonna go there.
Okay.
The only reason I asked, I've done enough of these that I wouldn't say anything. I didn't mind going out over the air. I
Oh,
just wanted to
sure.
know if I could go get a cup of coffee, but I'll get a cup of coffee when we're done. We're
Oh,
good.
sure.
We're good.
And I was
We,
gonna we are hitting our and I want to ask you about Nina of all things,
we can
but
talk about Nina. No, we have I have 20 more minutes. We're good.
okay.
Um, we're good. Yeah, I'll just get a cup of coffee at the end. Also, the amount of coffee that Ilyana drinks, I love that.
Yes, that
I
was
love how consistent. I love
hilarious.
just yeah. I believe that's in the Ayala run. Like, excuse me, let me get a picture of coffee and then talk to you later.
Yeah, and it's a
I
giant picture.
That's right. That's I feel seen. I felt seen. But no, we should actually talk about the ace spectrum.
Okay.
I honestly have no idea whether you are surrounded by people who talk about modern queer identities
No, I mean,
online in your
just
daily
what
life
I'm
or not.
able to glean from podcasts is I seek out, but
Oh, okay.
with the X-Men,
We're
slant.
we're here for you, and that's you are here for us
Yes, I
because you've
try.
read a lot of comics I haven't read, and thank you. Um, okay, so. Uh, Apologies to the 30 to 60% of listeners who know this stuff already. You can go get a cup of coffee and we'll be back. Um, uh, People who are on it or who are interested talk about the asexuality spectrum.
Hmm.
Um, and the important terms there are ace or asexual, which means either that you don't enjoy having sex and getting off, or that
Oh,
you
yeah,
don't,
not that. Yeah, I'm
right,
sorry.
or that you don't enjoy it in a normal way. And the way that most you think most people do. Some people are aro or aromantic, which means you don't enjoy being long-term linked to someone in a way that we associate with girlfriends, boyfriends, person friends,
Okay.
marriage, going steady, giving someone flowers, Valentine's Day. Like you're not into that. Um, some people describe themselves as demi or demisexual, which means that you only want to smooch people you really get to know first, or
Okay.
as gray ace, which is a term that you'll see. Gray ace usually means you don't often want to have sex with people, and if you do, it is a rarity and you already know them well.
Okay.
So those are terms that are worth knowing in the real world, and
Yes.
they are
Thank you.
also terms that exist on Earth 616. And there is a little story in one of the Pride specials where Gwenpool comes out as Ace and
Yes,
explains
that's
what
right.
being
That's a
Ace
great
means,
story.
right? Which I was hoping would happen after she briefly dated Quentin Quire,
Yes.
which makes her dating Quentin Quire in West Coast Avengers funnier.
Yeah.
I love Gwenpool. I want more Gwenpool
Yeah,
comics. Gwenpool
I
Strikes
like her
Back
too. And I
is so good.
when I was like, I need to learn more about her. Like I sought out the Kelly Thompson West Coast Avengers. I was like,
Good.
this is perfect.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. And the thing about Gwenpool's life before she fell into Earth 616 is that she didn't like it and doesn't want to talk about it, but she read a lot of comic books.
Yes.
And what she wants to talk about is her life now.
Yeah, right.
I want more Gwenpool adventures. Gwenpool Strikes Back is
Oh yeah, that's great
so
too.
good. And again, I have written about it. Hit me up. That was the kind of writing that has a lot of footnotes, but I loved it. But
And she's met
Ilyana,
Kitty Pryde too. Is it? I think it's a
where is
Rocket
that?
and Groot comic, and she's like,
Oh.
"Hey, Kitty, what are you doing here?" And Kitty's like,
Oh,
"I'm
and
not
Kitty says,
sure."
I believe that either Gwen or Kitty says, "What is this, a Bendis comic?"
Yes, exactly. That famous panel. I was like, I gotta buy this comic for sure. I need to own this.
It is a great panel. It is a great page. Bendis, I think, writes both Kitty and Eliana very, very well.
Yeah, I love the Bendis era, and it's like the decimation where it lasts longer than you think, but the '05 being the present day lasts longer than I always think it did. But
Yeah. Yeah, no, the feeling I've always had about House of M is that Bendis was hired to do something terrible and
yeah,
made it a great story, and then got the keys to the X-Men
yeah,
for not quite long enough.
yes.
But you wanted to be sure that we could talk about Ilyana's place on the ace spectrum, and I have
Oh yes, yes.
very strong and I hope well supported beliefs, um, which is that she and Kitty have had a relationship that is clearly romantic and
Mm-hmm.
clearly hot, and
Yes.
they clearly do things that you can't show in a Marvel comic.
Right.
Um, uh, and they've been doing things you shouldn't show in a Marvel comic for a very long time.
Yeah. They were
And
roommates.
well, I mean, they were roommates in the Claremontian sense.
Yeah, exactly. I meant to say it with
And
quotation marks, but I don't know how to do that with my words.
I think you just did it. Those were the
Okay.
words. Yeah. They were Claremontian roommates.
Yes.
And Claremont worked with artists who knew what he was doing and helped him do it. And it was, for me as a teenager at the time, one of the most positive depictions of girls my own age falling in love
Yeah.
that I could find anywhere. It was great. And uh, of course, they are sometimes still romantic.
Yeah.
The longest time that they have not been together that way was when Ilyana was dead.
You're right. That would hurt a
Uh,
chance.
yeah, yeah. Um, that is as fundamental a truth to me as a reader of X comics as, the laws of gravity.
Right.
Um, Now, given that, and given what else we know about both of their in-universe histories,
Hmm.
what can we, as attentive fans who like to pretend that it all makes sense, and as admirers of writers, the best of whom also have to pretend and like to pretend that it all makes sense,
Right.
even though, really it doesn't.
No.
But as opposed to, for example, the Legion of Superheroes, where every so often they reboot the whole thing and it's just hopeless.
Right.
And I do love the Legion, but yikes.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, but most major characters in the X line can be helpfully understood as if they were characters in a very long novel with one author.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean,
and I think Ilyana is one of those characters. And I think that her history and her choice about how to look and her choice about what to do very much makes sense and looks like the choices of some real people I know,
mhm.
in that she is going to show you that she controls her body, which is conventionally
Yes.
hot, and she controls her appearance, and she does not mind being looked at or being seen. And people who've been through that kind of trauma either want to hide from the world or respond by saying, "Fuck you, look at me.
Yeah, reclaim it.
I want you to look at me." Um, I think that she's someone who I think that she's clearly someone who has had very, very few on-page romances.
Yes.
If you don't count Kitty, I believe that there are alternate universe as guardians somewhere.
Oh. Oh yeah, that's
You
right.
might
Yeah,
have heard
from
of it.
Secret Wars 2015. She was in Siege. She
Yeah,
dated a nice Asgardian gal
that's
whose
right.
name escapes me right now.
That's right. Yeah, mine too. Two
Yeah.
syllables though. Some
Yeah.
longing. Um,
Where's Green?
uh, that I don't remember, but
Yeah, I don't remember.
this is someone who is hard to get to know,
Yes.
worth getting to know,
Yes.
and uh, really there are very, very few people she would like to kiss.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Uh, but we know of at least one.
Yes.
And the among people who like to apply terms to queer identities, the terms there would be Gray Ace or Demi or somewhere on the Ace spectrum.
Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
always figured the few times she talks about how cute boys are, that's just her trying to connect with Danny. Because I
That's right.
also like Danny on it too. Like, that's a fun
Um,
pair.
I I mean, when she's talking about cute boys,
Hmm.
and I believe that that happens at the beginning of New Mutant Special Edition #1,
Yeah.
where they're going to the beach and then they get teleported away. Um,
Right.
when Ilyana talks about cute boys, she's trying to connect with her entire team,
Exactly.
which is hard for her to do. Um, she is as much trying to connect with Roberto and Sam and Doug when
Hmm.
he's there to show that she's not that scary and she's a normal girl,
Right.
as she is with Danny. And she might even be trying to connect with Rain, who's got her own
Oh,
giant transatlantic boat full of issues,
yes, she does.
because she would prefer that Rain not be terrified of her.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, I imagine it hurts her like how Nightcrawler is clearly hurt by when Kitty first meets him, too.
Right. But the difference is that with Nightcrawler and Kitty, it's just Kitty getting used to not living in Deerfield. And it takes
Sure.
about,
Yeah.
I believe it takes about, I believe that the whole thing where I think there's a thought bubble. Uh, Kitty thinks in Uncanny 139 about how Nightcrawler is still scary, but by the time they go into space together, it's fine,
Yeah, exactly.
which is great and healthy and tells you something else important about Kitty, which she knows, which is that she she has had a childhood that was normal and limited, but also privileged and supportive.
Hmm.
So when she encounters weird, dangerous crap, she does not expect to be singled out, stigmatized, and punched in the face, which is one of the reasons she's able to use her passing privilege so well.
Yes.
Rain is not scared of Liana because she looks weird, which she doesn't. She just looks like she looks. Rain is
Yeah,
scared of Ilyana because Ilyana looks satanic.
you're right. Exactly.
And the reason that Ilyana has the power she has and is the person she is that she spent so much time uh, uh being by a literal demon in a literal hell.
Exactly. Yeah, she's a personification. Or at least like
Well,
a
she's a
proof of
personification of
reality of
kind of
like, oh yeah,
herself.
hell that I've been told to fear is real, and this gal's been there and rules it. Like,
That's right, actually. And one wonders, I think you get to write this fanfic because I'm not going to write it. Um, at least in the Claremont era, um, at least in the Claremont era, we know that religious belief has power.
hmm.
Divinity, a sort of divinity corresponds to something real that has power in our world. Um, Hell is absolutely real if you define it as a
Yes.
fiery place full of demons that you can go against your will. But
Hmm.
that does not mean that any real world religion is true or is a
Right.
valid guide to conduct. And we see this in the reaction. Um, I need to accept that, and then we can just make this part. Hi, I am recording a podcast that has run long, and I will call you back in about 5 minutes. Okay. Um, I don't
Sorry.
mind
Yeah.
that that was on tape. Uh, we see this in Ilyana's entire storyline. We also see it when the X-Men fight Dracula.
Hmm.
And I don't know enough of the history of vampire stories and horror to know
Oh,
whether Claremont made this up. Uh, I would like to know. I suspect Sean McGuire, Sean, if you're out there and you're still listening, let us know. I suspect Sean knows. Also, Sean and Rit's a great kitty. I wish someone would ask her to do it again. Um,
Oh.
yeah, that's X-Men Gold Annual #2.
Oh yeah, I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, the moment in the Dracula issue, which I think is Uncanny 159.
That feels right.
Yeah. Uh, in which the X-Men fight Dracula and Kurt, because he is a pious Catholic, can use his cross to fight Dracula. And of course, Kitty, who, is goes to the same kind of synagogue I do when I go to shul. Um, Kitty tries to use a cross, and Kitty is a science girl
Right.
and figures that material objects have consistent properties, which is the same assumption I'd make, and is very much not used to anything that has to do with magic or the spirit world, especially since Ilyana hasn't even come back from limbo yet,
Right.
right? Ilyana is still 5 in
Yes.
Uncanny One next issue. But Kitty says, "Well, this is a piece of wood that will fight Dracula when Kurt holds it. I will use it to fight Dracula." And Dracula's like, "Really? You're
Yeah.
Jewish? Fuck you." Um, and then we realize that she is wearing a Magen David on her necklace that she
Right.
always wears. And that
Hmm.
works because spiritual belief has real world power in the right situations.
Exactly.
And I'm gonna try to tie this up with a bow because we have to go.
Yeah, yeah. I was just going to be like, well, I've taken up enough of your time, but please tie it up.
Yeah. Um, Established religious doctrine is not necessarily true on Earth 616 or in the real world, but your experience of your own spirituality,
Mhm.
the way that your spiritual experience relates to your life and the stuff that you've been through, and the use that you can make of your real life and your spiritual experience, if you happen to have any, like that's real. And that is
Hmm.
real, and that is important for a lot of us on Earth, including half my friends, and a lot of us on Earth 616. And it is especially true for Ilyana because that's how you get a soul sword.
Yeah,
And we
that
can
is
stop
how
there.
you do. Well,
Yeah.
Dr. Burt, thank you so much for your time today and just chatting with me. This has been amazing. If you would like anyone to follow you, where can they follow you or anything you want to promote?
So, okay, first, this has been me being your guest, talking mostly about my favorite things and what I think. And I don't know how much of that is because I've been a bad guest and how much of it is because you're a podcast host and sometimes you can just talk into a microphone about your stuff. But someday I would like to just ask you more of your presuppositions and
Oh,
reasonings
sure.
and I want to be there for you, and I really appreciate this a ton. Um, and uh, if you, there are only two Stephanie Burts who write a lot of things and show up online. The other one writes about Southern food. So if
Oh,
you Google Stephanie Burt and not Southern food, she's a very good Southern food writer.
oh,
Uh,
okay.
I am the Stephanie Burt who doesn't do Southern food, and you can find my writings that way. You can find me on Instagram as Not Quite Hyde Park. And you can find me far more often, probably too often, on BluSky
Yeah,
as Not Quite Hyde Park. I think .bsky.social.
yeah.
But if you search for my name on BluSky, you will find me, I hope, honoring your experience and your opinions, and DMs are open. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. You have a great rest of your day.
You too. Okay, it's lunchtime for you. Go have lunch.
I shall. Thank you.
Okay, and I hope you get enough coffee. Okay, bye.
You too. Bye.